No. All right, it's working. Okay, it's working for whatever. Oh, did you make me the host, Kelly? Oh, I don't know. Okay, whatever. I'll figure it out someday. It's only been 3 years. Okay, so welcome to the call. Tonight we're going to talk about building a growth plan. So I was in another group or on another call or read somewhere or whatever, and the idea of this growth plan came up, and I was like, oh, I really like that. Like, this would be a great team call because it allows me to talk about all the vitals in a very super secret way. So we're going to talk about the growth plan, and we're going to talk about it in 3 areas, kind of 4, because there's 3 vitals, kind of 4. Yes, Blaine, are you raising your hand? You want to talk?
Just for one quick second, can I just, before we get started, don't laugh at me, Brenda. Listen, I need one quick shout out. Blaine Phillips has a coach on the call. Her coach on the call. Look at that. Everybody see that 6608273 shining down there?
I see it. I see
Ellen.
it.
Everybody say,
Ellen.
Hi.
I'm so excited you're on the call, Ellen. Welcome.
Thanks.
Now you're all blushing, but we can't see you, so it doesn't matter. Oh, I'm so happy you're here. I'll try to be really good tonight. Good job. I'm super excited, Blaine. That definitely deserved a shout out. I appreciate it. I should start taking the first 30 seconds to do shout outs, or a minute, as soon as I don't have technical difficulties for the first 5. All right, so I promised Amanda this would only be a 30-minute call, and I am going to be done at 9 o'clock. I'm promising all of you guys. So number 1 in building your own personal growth plan is personal development. So this is actually, we can argue about what's the most important vital and go back and forth like it's, inviting, or maybe for you it's making sure you push play, or maybe it's your personal development, or maybe you think it's social media. But in creating a personal growth plan, I do believe that personal development is going to make you the most successful. And what I mean by that is I want you to look at what would you like to be better at? So what would everyone like to be better at? Like, I want to see in the chat. Like, I have my space open to see the chat. What's something you would like to be better at? I'll wait for all the answers. And then what is something that you're good at that you'd like to keep getting better at? Like, just something that you're good at, because I'm going to talk about those 2 things. So you like to get better at consistency, time management, inviting, communications, getting to know people better. All right, so just from these answers, we can start to gear what kind of personal development that you should dive into in the next 30 days. And so right away, when I see time management and consistency even too, like, I think Eat That Frog immediately. The book Eat That Frog, if you haven't read it, or if you have and you still struggle with this, guys, read it again, or let's find another book after that you can read. But Eat That Frog focuses on those things. It's about getting up and eating the frog, like eating the biggest part of your day that you hate. So if that's inviting, then you do that. But if you then you go to the list and I see a lot of inviting, like consistency, invites. Okay, personal development, what's going to help you most with inviting is confidence. So things like you are a badass. The compound effect is not necessarily confidence, but it will definitely help with inviting, because it shows you how each month rolls to the next, and discusses follow-ups and all those sort of things. Communication, getting to know people better, time management, better organization. Better organization, Carmen, like the PD that I would dive into is things really through Shailene, like her using a planner, and like how she focuses on structuring her day, and she has a great plan for like the next 30 days, the next 90 days, and how to structure it that way. Invites and confidence. So, okay, a lot of like invites and confidence. So we don't have to nail down a book today, but now like that I've seen what you guys want to get better at, then I can jump in the team and I'll suggest some things to be reading or listening to and focus the area on that for the next 30 days. That's fine. That being said, like the only way you guys are going to get better at inviting, since that's where I'm seeing 80% of the comments, is if you're doing it. Like it's not going to get easier or better if you don't do it. Like that's the only way you get better at it. That's the only way people get better at running. It's the only way people get better at the workouts and that they choose is by doing them every day. You can't do 21-day fix on day 1 and then not do it for 28 days and then do it on day 30 and be like, why am I not better? Well, you're not doing it. You're not going to get any better. So if you're not actively inviting, I guarantee if you're inviting every day, you're going to get better at it. Now, that being said, if what you're really saying is if it's more of a confidence thing, not the inviting, those are two different things. Like, are you just not good at inviting because you need to do it more? Or do you have a confidence issue and you need to be reading PD that will help with confidence? Those are two different things. So we can discuss those as well. Now, as far as like, let's talk about what are you good at? Like, what is a strength that you have? Don't be shy. Stop it, Megan. Making peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. Working out. Okay. I just love the expression of Blaine's face. That's her jam. Facebook, working out, posting on Facebook. I mean, I'm a rock star. Yeah. Okay. So the things that you're good at, I'm going to actually encourage you to find personal development on that as well. So if you are good at Facebook or social media and you feel like you're in a groove, this is your chance to get better because you're not the best. Like no one on this call is the best at social media. So if you haven't read like Jab, Jab, Right Hook, you need to read that book. If you are not actively getting on YouTube and learning more about social media and learning more about promoting like pages and stuff like that, then you need to do that. Like that needs to be part of what you're doing because the things that you are good at, I want you guys to focus on getting better at those things. And this is heavily discussed in John Maxwell's type training. And he talks about how if you rank yourself, so if say on inviting you're a 1 or a 2, and then say on social media you're a 9 or a 10. Well, here's the thing with inviting, you might never get to a 9 or a 10. You might, if you really study it and you copy and paste my invites and you get into it and you get better at it, you might only get to a 3 or a 4. And that's okay because a lot of inviting is just scripts. A lot of it's just copying, pasting scripts and changing very little. So just because you're not a natural at writing and word flow, it's okay. You can still be just as successful by picking out one of these people that are good at inviting. I'm good at inviting. I'm comfortable with it. Copy and paste what I say. Utilize me because even if it doesn't come natural to you, you're gonna hear me say the same thing over and over and over. Finally, you're gonna get an invite and you're gonna be like, or a response or an objection. You're gonna say, I know what to say. And our invites are really simple because we are inviting to a free 5-day group, a 7-day Shakeology group, coaching at a glance, and a 60-day group. Every month, we have a schedule. Know your invite for each of those, and then you're just going to send them. They're all very, very similar. Like that's not building a relationship. Or getting to know someone and talking to someone's the easy part, but sending that invite, they're all very simple and short. So utilize someone that's good at that. Same with social media. Maybe, social media as far as like my like page and learning all the rules and blah, 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 blah. Like that's not my thing. Like I'm not interested in that. I want everyone on here, whether you're interested or not, like you're going to get to a point in your business where you're going to be able to outsource it. You're going to say someone else is going to do this for me. I don't know all that stuff. I don't want to know it. I'm never going to advance to a 10 in that because I have no interest in advancing to a 10 in that. If you're good at, Blaine's not like inviting to challenge groups. So Carmen's good at inviting to challenge groups. Perfect person, everyone. Write Carmen and ask her how she does it. Organization, not my strong suit. Let's be honest, not my jam. But I know people that are really good at it. So I utilize them and I learn from them. And Blaine just did an awesome call with Megan on organization. Like, you guys can learn from people that are better than you to get a little better, but I want you to excel at the things that you're really, really good at. So Blaine, you're really good at organization. This is your opportunity to go from an 8 to a 10 with organization. And all it's going to do is benefit your coaches, because you're going to have everything in a tight little package. I know, when they sign up and be like, this is what you do, bang, bang, bang. And not like me, where I'm like, oh, let's go over here for a little while. Let's go over here for a little while, blah, blah, blah. So I'm getting better. But I'm never going to be a 10. I'm going from a 2 to a 4 just to like get by. Okay, so personal growth plan number 1 is PD. And you need to have a PD book that is going to help you with the things that you're not good at and help you get even better with the things that you are good at. So in the next 90 days, like, you should be able to knock out those 2 books. And I will jump in to after the call or tomorrow and post some ideas of things that you guys should be reading. And please add to it for you guys that have read books that I haven't read, and maybe ideas that you think would be helpful too. So reading, listening, going to events. You need to get to an event like every quarter, in my opinion, and that's why they have Super Saturday every quarter. So get to a Super Saturday. If you can't, get to a Danny Johnson, guys. Invest in a Danny Johnson event. I went to a John Maxwell event last year. That was amazing. Like, there's lots of events. It doesn't have to be Beachbody related that can grow you and your personal development. Something that I was talking about, we started talking about this the other day when I was on the phone with Summer, and I said, you know, like, you'll hear me say this, and I'm not picking on anyone because everyone has said this to me, like, I can't afford to do this, like, I have to wait till I have more money and then I'll do it. But you have to get out of the I'm gonna put wood on the fire when it gives me heat mentality. Like, people are like, when I make money, I'm gonna go to this event. Well, you know what? If you went to the event, you'd be making some more money. Like, you cannot wait for it in that direction. That's not how building a business works. I cannot say, you know, so to relate it to a different business, Matthew and I's real estate business, I can't say when we get our first house, we can start marketing. No, I got my first house because I did marketing for the last several months. Like, I had to put it out there to get things going. So you have to really look at how you're doing it. Like, I know we want to make money, but sometimes events are going to come up and opportunities are going to come up that if you get yourself there, you're going to make more money. I promise you. We equated to Summer was like, yeah, I hear a lot, like, people are like, okay, I'm going to be ready to start this program after Easter, after spring break. I'm going to get some new workout clothes, and I'm going to get an iPad so that I have some earbuds when I'm going running, and I'm going to get this, and then I'll be ready to work out. And she's like, no, just go push play. You can get clothes 3 months from now. Like, you're trying to get everything set perfectly, and we sometimes do it in the wrong order. So I just want you to keep that in mind. Okay. I'm going to jump to number 2 in the growth plan, and that is to have a plan for your income. So, I don't know what I wrote down to bring with this. I think I wrote down like what you're making now, what you're making now, what you want to make next month. And we don't have to share these, but if you want to share them, jump on. So what you're making now, what you want to make next month, and what you want to make at the end of the quarter. So that would be June, April, May, June. And we need to track that. And we got to be realistic, guys. You guys, we write down realistic goals. Like, I don't need anyone saying, I want to lose 30 pounds this month or whatever. Because when people say that in groups, like, that's just not realistic. But realistically, your income should be growing. And if it's not, we need to fix that. Because if you're inviting more people, your Success Club points and your commission will go up. If you're inviting to coaching and you are Emerald or above, your cycle bonus is going to go up. If you're not Emerald, we need to invite to coaching and get you to Emerald. Like, there's lots of things in the growth plan to get your income to increase every single month. So you need to write down some realistic goals. I strongly encourage you to send them to your coach, your upline, or to send them to me, or to start a group message and send them to both of us, because unless I constantly know where you are and where you want to be, it's hard for me to track. So I remember coming back from DC with Blaine, and she was telling me where she wanted to be, like, and I was like, well, I think you're there already. But by the end of the month, she was within maybe $30 or $40. She's raising her hand. She can talk to us now.
Can you mute everyone, please?
Can I mute everyone? Oh, yeah. Can I do that? Audio. Manage participants. Sorry. Mute. Mute. Let everyone? Nope. Mute. Oh, mute. All right. I think everyone's muted. Anyways, if I know where you are and like have a better idea of where you want to be, and it's okay. This doesn't mean like, hey, Kimberly, I want to make $500 by the end of June, or I want to make $1,000 by the end of June in that month in June, and I'm not there. That doesn't mean, okay, we quit and we stop coaching. That means we reevaluate and see why we weren't there. But if I know your number from the beginning and your coach knows your number by the beginning, we can at least give you the steps and make sure it's a realistic goal based on what you're doing, based on how much you're inviting. Now, if your goal is to grow a certain amount and I say, okay, well, are you inviting, based on these numbers, you're going to have to hit SC10, you're going to need to add a couple of coaches every month. Like, to do that, you're probably going to need to invite 60 people. Are you doing that, or are you prepared to do that? Those are the things we'll have to look at. So on that note, like, okay, on that note, like, you start talking about rank and money and all those sort of things. I'm not here to ever get people caught up in a rank, because you can make a lot of money without being a huge rank. You know, Amy Kennard is a perfect example of Kennard. Kennard. It's spelled Kennard. Kennard. Why do I never get that right, Megan? She's a perfect example of someone who's been at one star for so long, but makes six figures. Like, she makes over six figures. So you can't say like, oh, I have to be this. There's 5-star coaches that don't make as much as I made last year. Like, that doesn't make any sense. So you can't get so caught up in rank rather than building a solid team of helping people. If you're just signing up a bunch of discount coaches and they're just signing up a bunch of discount coaches and so on and so on, you have this really hollow team. Like, no one's really succeeding. But on the flip side of that, early on in the business, rank is very important. Until you get to Emerald, you cannot have a cycle bonus. And until you get to Diamond, you're not making the most potential out of your cycle bonus. At a Diamond coach, you're making $18 every time you cycle. And that might not seem like a lot more than 14, but I'm telling you it is. When it adds up in my back office every week, it's a big difference. So you want to get to Diamond. You want to have that $18 cycle bonus. And then on top of that, then we'll move to building to 2-star. And the advantages of that are you get to open a whole second business center. So for those of you guys not familiar with all of that, I'd be happy to discuss that, like, in the group or on another call or anything like that. But there's so much opportunity. You have the opportunity to open 5 business centers. So that's recreating yourself 5 times. And if you haven't enrolled your husband, you're missing out on your chance to do it for free already. When you open your husband's account, it's like opening your second business center that you're working so hard to get to 2-star to do that, but you're missing out on your first chance to do it, which is enrolling your spouse. If you want to make money at this business, you have to enroll your spouse as early as possible. That's hopefully the biggest thing you take away from this call tonight. Okay, number 3 is, in your growth plan, you have to have a health and fitness growth plan. So do you want to work out more? Do you need to get better at meal prepping? I have never been a big meal prepper, and I will say, when we started this group I'm in with a bunch of people, well, we're in a lot of groups, obviously, but this group doing Ultimate Reset, which I haven't done in a week because my back is severely messed up. But it with the containers and having to eat them at a certain time, I was like, I gotta prep some stuff. Like I gotta have some quinoa ready to go. I gotta have some vegetables ready to go. I've got to do this. And it does make things so much easier. So instead of like always talking about it and teaching people how to do it, like I've actually been doing it, and I'm like, wow, this really works. I should do this more often. Like I always have eggs and fruit and stuff like that, but having like my containers ready to go has been great. So you have to figure out what your growth plan is. And when I say growth plan, guys, you're looking at 30 days, 60 days, 90 days. You can make longer goals for the end of the year, but if you work quarterly and we're just entering the second quarter, I feel like you're going to be so much more focused and productive of like where you want to be at 30, 60, and 90 days with your health and fitness. So if that's working out, meal prep, drinking less sugar. These are basically all me, as you can see from the list. If you want to train for a race, if you want to sign up for a 5K or a 10K, if you want to be in some kind of competition, if you have health goals, if you need to lower your cholesterol, or if you want to get off certain medications, this is a place to put that. Physical goals, like you want to increase your weights from 5 to 10 pounds, like over the course of the next 90 days, or you want to be able to do, 30 burpees or keep up with the hardcore program or whatever it is, like set goals for yourself. Just don't go in there, because if you don't, like if you say you're doing 25 out of the 50 burpees and say by the end of next month I want to be able to do 35, and by the end I want to be able to do all 50, even if I have to pause it, like I want to be able to do all 80, or how ridiculous it is in some of these. But like those are the goals I've been setting with push-ups. And I can't, like, until I set the goal where I was like, I want to do this so many on my toes, like I've been pushing myself to do it. There's been years where I just am like, drop to my knees right away because I don't set a goal for myself. So you have to set a goal and say, I'm going to do this by the end. And it's okay if you fail. Like that's what you really have to have stuck in your head. But if you don't have a goal, you're never even going to push yourself to go for it. All right, so the best way to grow all of these, so your personal growth plan with your personal development, going to events, listening to books, reading, having a book, like when are you going to do it? Like I'm going to do mine in the morning. I, get up, and that's like what I had tried to do my first 10 minutes. Maybe you'd rather do it your last 10 minutes or do it in the bath, or maybe you want to do it on your lunch break, but try to set a time. If it's the same time every day, it becomes more of a habit. Like it's just something you do. We get up and, drink, some of us get up and drink coffee. Like it's a habit. That's what you do, and some people have a bath, and some people have like a prayer time, and some people, do certain things in the car. Maybe you're going to listen to your PD in the car. You're going to listen to your national wake up call recording every Tuesday or whatever it is. It's got to be part of the plan. So anyways, personal development, income, and health. The best way to grow all these is your connection to people through social media. It's sharing your goals. It's talking about all of these things. It's getting uncomfortable and talking about, personal development goals you have in front of people that you feel nervous talking about it. It's about being vulnerable, and sharing income goals. And it doesn't have to be a number. It can be like, I set a goal for myself, and unless I help 5 people this month, I'm, not going to do this. Or if I do this, I'm going to do this for myself. Or if I'm able to do 50 push-ups by the end of this program, then I'm going to treat myself to a spa day with my girlfriend, or whatever it is. But it's talking about those things and putting your goals out there and sharing them, and not just once. You can't put it out there tomorrow. You have to talk about it every week and be like, I did 2 more push-ups this week. I'm reading this personal development, this book this week, and this is what stuck out to me. I'm constantly sharing quotes that stick out to me and what I get out of it. And that brings me to like, what are you sharing on social media? I wanted everyone to go through like the last week and see how many posts that they had and how that stood out to you. So did it really affect anyone? So I see a lot of people, and I see people trying and pushing yourselves further than putting a poster up there and saying, hashtag truth. Like, Summer called me out, not specifically on a call I was on once. She said, stop putting posters up there with hashtag truth. And I was like, oh my gosh, I think I did that like today or last week. Like this, whenever this was, I was like, I do that. She's like, it doesn't share anything. Truth what? Like, why is this truth in your life? Why did that quote speak to you? Why did you take the time to put it on social media and talk about it? Like, what do you want to talk about? What stood out to you? And so I see people saying, doing a little more and maybe writing a sentence or two, but you know, like, what, you have to dig deeper. You have to be vulnerable with people to connect with people. So I had a girl I was in a conversation with today, and she friend requested me. I didn't know who she was, but we ended up having like 20 mutual friends. I was like, well, she must know me from somewhere. And truth be told, the first thing I thought is she wants to sell me something. She sells something and she wants to sell it to me. So she wrote me, and she does in fact sell 31, but she was talking to a friend, and the mutual friend, who I haven't asked who it was yet, they started talking about health and fitness, and this girl's in a funk and in a depression and just not doing well, and the girl recommended that she talk to me. So I need to find out who it is so I can thank her. But I was flattered, and I started talking to her, and we just had a conversation and chatted back and forth. There was no sales, there was no videos, there was no Shakeology talk. We just talked. And I said, well, she said, I did start following your Coach K page when she recommended you, and a few things resonated with me. So I'd like to get to know you better. And I said, great, what resonated with you? And she said this back to me in a quote. She said, well, since you were brave enough to put it out there, I'm gonna tell you what I'm going through. And it made me feel so good. And I was like, thank you. And I said, I don't know, what did I put out there that spoke to you? She's like, well, I'm suffering from depression, and I'm on antidepressants, and I'm approaching 40, and just let it all out. But she said that, she said, because you were brave enough to put it out there, so will I. People are not going to share with you unless you're brave enough to put it out there. So what do you have to share? What do you have to share to get vulnerable about? Because that's what people are going to buy from you and connect with you on. We all have a story in some sense. And, you know, I had another girl, same thing, wrote me, didn't know me, connected with her, and she said, I'm really interested in the coaching opportunity. I read your story, and I struggle with high cholesterol too. So she doesn't struggle with depression. She doesn't even have a ton of weight to lose, but she's like, my cholesterol's out of control. And I saw that it helped you drop your cholesterol from 222 to 156 is what's right in my little welcome story or whatever. And if you don't have a like page, I'm not suggesting that you go out and create a like page. I think you guys aren't utilizing your regular pages enough. You have a big market there. I utilized mine for a good 2.5 years before diving more into my like page. But I would also constantly be sharing my results and my before and after pictures, and that I help get off my antidepressants, and I help lower my cholesterol, and I help do this, and I help do that. So I was always sharing that on social media. So that's my 30 minutes. That's your growth plan for the next 90 days, those 3 things. And you can conveniently see that they are the vital behaviors. So if you are reading personal development every day, and you have an income growth plan that you're willing to share with your upline or your coach, or me, or whoever you want to share it with, that is going to turn into discussing how many people we need to invite, how many coaches that we need to add to our plan, and inviting daily. Obviously, health and fitness is continuing to be a product of the product. And if you are doing those 3 things, you will always have something to share on social media. Always. You're always going to have something to share. Hillary's been nailing sharing all our workouts on Facebook. Like, your videos are great. Your pictures are great. You're just going to start to connect with more and more people when you share these sorts of things on social media. So, all right. Does anyone have any questions? No? All right.
I have a quick one. I just need to know if anybody else was closet eating peanut butter and jelly sandwiches.
I thought, okay, so if you have not read Megan's latest post, I just saw it today. And first of all, it was a great post. Like, you need to put it in the post idea group. If you're not in the post idea group, I think that's a great group too. I know you just want to be in more groups, but Megan, that was an awesome post, and I was so like reading it like this. I'm like, oh my god, what happens next? Like, I'm like, when is she eating these peanut butter and jelly sandwiches? I had no idea you're a closet peanut butter and jelly eater.
Well, I'm not anymore, luckily.
I'm glad you came out of the pantry.
Me too.
That was a really good post, though. And people are laughing and commenting on it. And she tied her Shakeology into it. And if you haven't seen it, go look at it. It was very funny. Very good job. But all right, there's a Zoom app on your phone. What? Wait, I need to know how to join by phone, like FaceTime or whatever Krista is doing. Oh, yeah, there's a Zoom app on your phone, Amanda. You don't have to dial in. You can just hit the link and still do by video or whatever.
Amanda, are you chatting by dialing in? Because I didn't.
Yeah, well, how do you even see Krista if you dialed in? Now I'm really confused. I'm on both.
Oh, she's on both.
Just no web.
On both.
I'm on the computer too. Oh, gotcha. You're on the computer, but you dialed in. Gotcha. Yeah, you can do it from your phone, or you can have a web. If you don't have a webcam on your computer, you wanted to see all your faces. Well, I'm not even, I mean, there's all this chat. No one was even listening to me or just like making fun of me, I think, the whole time.
I was never making fun of you. I just was trying to figure out if everybody had been drinking because there was a lot of laughing.
That's funny. No, just Sarah. No, I did have a beer. There's no sugar added to my beer. Don't tell my sugar detox group. I have 2 monitors, no webcam, a closet of half a cupcake before I ate. I closeted half a cupcake before I ate. I'm not drinking. Sounds like it. It's funny. All right, guys. Well, I hope this was beneficial to everyone, and I'm sure Megan will have a awesome call coming up next week for you all. And there's probably far less difficulty on her calls. I closet eat cupcakes. That's funny. All right, guys. Have a great night. I won't keep you anymore. Love you guys.
Kimberly, I just
Yeah, go ahead.
I just messaged you. Just look.
Okay, I will. I will. Bye.
Bye, guys.